Today, I'll be showing you the discoveries made in regards to the cryptid known as Bigfoot. Bigfoot is a very large cryptid that has roamed North America for millions of years. Today, we will explore whether or not it's still alive today. Standing at over 9 feet tall, many speculate that Bigfoot is probably a descendant from apes or the missing link between humans and gorillas. There have been many eyewitnesses reports throughout the years. Some fake, some real enough to believe. Some say that Bigfoot is just a man in a costume. Some say that it's just a bear mistaken for a Sasquatch. Others think that maybe it's a long-lost relative of a North American ape that used to exist. Many hunters claim to have found the Bigfoot carcass in the woods somewhere, but they never actually provide proof. Could this all just be one giant elaborate hoax? Or could there really be something here to discover? There are many unexplored areas on the planet. Who knows what might be hiding out there? Could they possibly be a troop of gorillas that escaped the local zoo at one point? And speaking of gorillas, how gorillas survive in the jungle. Gorillas, the largest of the great apes, are majestic creatures that have adapted to life in some of the most challenging environments on Earth, the dense, humid, and resource-rich rainforests of Central Africa. These remarkable animals possess a combination of physical strength, social structures, and intelligence that enable them to thrive in their natural habitats. Habitat: the jungles of Central Africa. Gorillas inhabit the tropical rainforests of equatorial Africa, where dense vegetation provides shelter and abundant food sources. Their range stretches across various countries, including the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, Uganda, Gabon, and the Republic of Congo. There are two main species of gorillas, the eastern gorilla and the western gorilla, each of which is further divided into subspecies. Eastern gorillas are primarily found in the Virunga volcanic mountains, covered by lush montane forests. They are adapted to living in both lowland tropical forests and montane cloud forests. Western gorillas inhabit lowland forests, swamps, and tropical jungles, often in areas that are difficult for humans to access. The rich biodiversity of these rainforests ensures that gorillas have ample resources, but the dense vegetation also presents challenges, such as navigating through thick underbrush and competing for space with other species. However, gorillas' adaptations to their environment have enabled them to overcome these challenges and remain at the top of their ecological niche. Diet and feeding behavior. Gorillas are primarily herbivores, although their diet can vary based on their habitat and the availability of food. They mainly feed on leaves, stems, fruit, and bark, and they consume over 40 different types of plant species. In the lowland forests, fruit is more readily available, and gorillas will incorporate a greater amount of fruit into their diet. In contrast, gorillas living in montane or higher altitude regions where fruit is scarce rely heavily on leaves, bamboo shoots, and other fibrous plant materials. Their large size requires them to consume vast amounts of food each day, often spending up to 6 hours foraging and eating. Gorillas use their immense strength to tear down branches, strip bark from trees, and harvest plants that other animals may not be able to access. They have large, robust molars that help them grind tough vegetation and break down cellulose, which is essential for extracting nutrients from fibrous plants. One important aspect of their feeding behavior is their ability to move across large areas to find food. Gorillas typically live in home ranges that can span anywhere from 4 to 30 square kilometers, depending on the quality of the habitat. They are constantly on the move, eating in one area before traveling to another in search of fresh vegetation. This nomadic lifestyle helps to ensure that they do not overexploit the resources in a given area. Social structure and group dynamics. Gorillas are highly social animals that live in cohesive family groups called troops. A typical gorilla troop consists of one dominant adult male, several adult females, and their offspring. The dominant male, known as the silverback because of the silver-colored hair on his back, is the leader and protector of the group. He makes decisions about where the group will travel, when they will eat, and how they will respond to potential threats. Living in social groups provides many advantages for gorillas in the jungle. It helps them share knowledge about food sources, provide protection from predators, and care for the young. The silverback plays a crucial role in the survival of the group by defending it from predators such as leopards and competing males. His impressive size and strength serve as a deterrent to threats, and in most cases, predators will avoid attacking a gorilla group unless absolutely necessary. The bond between gorillas in a troop is strong, and they engage in grooming and other social activities to reinforce relationships. Grooming is particularly important as it helps to clean their fur and remove parasites. The group dynamic ensures that young gorillas have a secure environment in which to grow and learn survival skills from their mothers and other troop members. Physical adaptations for jungle survival. Gorillas are superbly adapted to their jungle environment, with physical traits that allow them to thrive in the wild. One of the most striking features of gorillas is their immense size and strength. Adult male gorillas can weigh between 300 to 500 pounds and can stand up to 6 feet tall when upright. Their sheer size acts as a deterrent to potential predators and rivals. Their muscular build also allows them to navigate the challenging terrain of the jungle. Gorillas are primarily quadrupedal, meaning they walk on all fours, using their knuckles to support their weight. This knuckle-walking adaptation provides them with stability and balance, enabling them to move through dense forests with ease. Despite their heavy bodies, they are surprisingly agile and capable of climbing trees, especially when foraging for food. Gorillas also have powerful jaws and teeth designed for processing tough plant materials. Their large molars help grind fibrous foods, while their strong jaw muscles provide the force needed to break down hard substances like bark and stems. In addition to physical strength, gorillas possess highly developed senses that aid their survival in the jungle. Their keen sense of smell helps them detect food and potential threats, while their excellent hearing allows them to communicate with other members of their group over long distances. Communication and cognitive abilities. Gorillas are intelligent animals capable of complex communication and social interactions. They use a variety of vocalizations, body postures, and facial expressions to convey messages to one another. Vocalizations include grunts, roars, and hoots, which can signal anything from contentment to alarm. The silverback often uses vocal communication to maintain order within the group and to warn intruders. In addition to vocalizations, gorillas use gestures such as chest beating, which is often seen as a display of dominance or an attempt to intimidate rivals. Beyond their communication abilities, gorillas have been observed using simple tools in the wild, such as using sticks to gauge the depth of water or as supports while foraging. This tool use, while not as advanced as that seen in chimpanzees, demonstrates their problem-solving abilities and cognitive flexibility. Surviving threats, predators, and human impact. While adult gorillas have few natural predators due to their size and strength, they are not immune to danger. Young gorillas are vulnerable to predators such as leopards, and occasionally, other male gorillas may challenge a silverback for control of the troop, leading to violent encounters. In most cases, however, the biggest threat to gorillas comes from humans. Habitat destruction, poaching, and diseases such as Ebola have taken a heavy toll on gorilla populations in the wild. Deforestation for agriculture, logging, and mining has fragmented their habitat, making it more difficult for them to find food and mates. Poaching, both for bushmeat and illegal wildlife trade, remains a serious threat, particularly for western lowland gorillas. Conservation efforts have been initiated to protect gorilla populations, with many national parks and reserves established to safeguard their habitats. But that's enough about gorillas for now. Another animal that might be related to Bigfoot is the extinct primate Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus, the extinct giant ape of prehistoric Asia. Gigantopithecus, often referred to as the gigantic ape, is a genus of extinct apes that once roamed the forests of prehistoric Asia. As one of the largest primates to have ever lived, Gigantopithecus has captured the imaginations of scientists and the public alike. Its massive size, combined with its mysterious extinction, has led to numerous hypotheses about its behavior, diet, and relationship to other species, including humans. Discovery of Gigantopithecus. The first fossils of Gigantopithecus were discovered in 1935 by a German paleoanthropologist named Ralph von Koenigswald. He came across the teeth of this giant ape in a traditional Chinese apothecary, where they were being sold as dragon bones, ancient fossils ground into powder and used in traditional Chinese medicine. The discovery of these teeth marked the beginning of a long and ongoing investigation into what was once the largest ape to ever walk the earth. The teeth were unlike anything von Koenigswald had ever seen before. They were enormous compared to the teeth of any known primate, leading him to the conclusion that these fossils belonged to an enormous, yet-to-be-identified ape. Over time, additional teeth and a few jawbone fragments were found in caves in southern China, Vietnam, and Thailand. Despite the limited fossil record, these remains provided enough evidence to classify the species. Unfortunately, fossils of Gigantopithecus are relatively scarce, and no complete skeleton has ever been found. This lack of skeletal remains has made it difficult for scientists to reconstruct the full picture of the ape's appearance and behavior. However, by comparing the available fossils with the bones of modern great apes, paleontologists have been able to make educated guesses about its size, diet, and lifestyle. Physical characteristics. Gigantopithecus lived during the Pleistocene epoch, between 2 million and 300,000 years ago. Based on fossil evidence, scientists estimate that Gigantopithecus was truly colossal. It likely stood between 9 and 10 feet tall. This would make it much larger than any living primate, including the modern-day gorilla, which is the largest of the great apes. The teeth and jawbones of Gigantopithecus are the most well-preserved fossils of the species, and they reveal much about the ape's diet and physical adaptations. The molars are wide and flat, with thick enamel, indicating that the ape was primarily herbivorous and relied on a diet of tough, fibrous plants. The large, robust jaws suggest that Gigantopithecus was well-suited to chewing tough vegetation, including bamboo, which is thought to have made up a significant portion of its diet. Despite its massive size, Gigantopithecus likely shared some physical traits with modern apes. It is believed to have had a heavy muscular build similar to that of a gorilla, with long arms that allowed it to move through the forest in a quadrupedal manner, using its arms and legs for support. However, given its immense size, it's unlikely that Gigantopithecus was as agile or as proficient a climber as smaller primates. The massive body size of Gigantopithecus would have required an enormous caloric intake to maintain, which likely played a crucial role in shaping its diet and behavior. The sheer size of the ape suggests that it may have had few natural predators, although it likely faced competition for food from other herbivores, including early hominins and large mammals such as elephants and rhinos. Habitat and distribution. Fossil evidence suggests that Gigantopithecus lived in the forests and jungles of Southeast Asia, particularly in what is now southern China, Vietnam, and Thailand. The environment during the time of Gigantopithecus was rich in plant life, providing the giant ape with an abundance of vegetation to eat. The climate during the Pleistocene fluctuated between cooler and warmer periods, with glacial and interglacial phases causing significant changes in vegetation and habitat. During the warmer interglacial periods, dense forests and bamboo groves would have spread across large areas of Southeast Asia, providing an ideal environment for Gigantopithecus. The availability of bamboo and other fibrous plants likely supported the large populations of the species during these periods. However, as the climate cooled during glacial periods, much of the tropical forest habitat would have contracted, replaced by savannas and grasslands. These environmental changes would have posed significant challenges to a species that relied heavily on dense forests and bamboo-rich environments for survival. The fossil record indicates that Gigantopithecus favored cave environments, where many of its remains have been found. These caves likely provided shelter from the elements and predators. However, the scarcity of fossils outside of these cave sites suggests that Gigantopithecus may have had a limited range, and its dependence on specific habitats may have made it vulnerable to environmental changes. Diet and feeding behavior. Based on the structure of its teeth and jaws, Gigantopithecus was a herbivore, specializing in the consumption of fibrous plants. The thick enamel and large molars of Gigantopithecus indicate that it consumed tough vegetation, including bamboo, leaves, fruits, and roots. The presence of worn enamel on its molars suggests that it chewed large quantities of plant material, grinding it down to extract nutrients. Bamboo, in particular, is believed to have been a significant part of Gigantopithecus's diet. This is similar to the diet of the modern-day giant panda, which also inhabits parts of China. The overlap in geographic range between Gigantopithecus and the giant panda has led some scientists to speculate that they may have competed for similar food resources. Gigantopithecus likely had to consume large quantities of food each day to sustain its massive body size. Its diet would have required it to forage extensively, moving through forests to find enough food. The ape's ability to process fibrous plants gave it a competitive advantage over other animals that could not digest such tough vegetation, but it also made it highly dependent on the availability of these plants. During periods of environmental change, such as the glacial periods of the Pleistocene, Gigantopithecus may have faced significant food shortages as bamboo and other preferred food sources became scarce. This dietary specialization may have contributed to its eventual extinction as the ape was unable to adapt to the changing availability of food in its habitat. Behavior and social structure. Although the fossil evidence for Gigantopithecus is limited, comparisons with modern great apes can provide insights into its likely behavior and social structure. Gigantopithecus, like modern apes, was likely a highly social animal, living in groups to protect itself from predators and to facilitate cooperation in foraging. Given its size and the availability of food, Gigantopithecus may have formed small groups similar to gorilla troops. Gigantopithecus was likely a relatively sedentary forager, given its size and the abundance of food in its environment. It probably spent much of its time foraging for bamboo and other plants. Much like modern gorillas, spend a large portion of their day feeding on leaves and stems. Due to its size and the limited availability of food in certain seasons, Gigantopithecus may have had to travel considerable distances to find enough food to support itself and its group. One of the most puzzling questions surrounding Gigantopithecus is why such a large and dominant species went extinct. There are several theories about the extinction of Gigantopithecus, with most centering around environmental changes, competition with other species, and dietary specialization. The Pleistocene epoch was marked by dramatic fluctuations in climate, with periods of glaciation and warming causing shifts in vegetation and habitat availability. During glacial periods, the dense forests that Gigantopithecus relied on would have retreated, replaced by savannas and grasslands. This habitat loss would have made it difficult for the giant ape to find enough food, particularly bamboo, which thrives in tropical and subtropical forests. Gigantopithecus' large size and dietary specialization would have made it vulnerable to these environmental changes, as it lacked the adaptability to shift to a new food source or habitat. Competition with other species. During the time of Gigantopithecus, early hominins, such as Homo erectus, began to spread throughout Asia. It is possible that early humans competed with Gigantopithecus for food, particularly during periods of environmental stress. Additionally, human hunting may have contributed to the decline of Gigantopithecus populations, as early humans became more proficient at hunting large animals. Dietary specialization. Gigantopithecus's reliance on bamboo and other fibrous plants may have been a key factor in its extinction. While dietary specialization allowed the ape to exploit a specific niche, it also made the species highly vulnerable to changes in the availability of these plants. Gigantopithecus may have been unable to find enough food to sustain its massive size, leading to its eventual extinction. As the largest known primate, it dominated its environment for millions of years, relying on its size, strength, and dietary adaptations to survive. However, its extinction remains a mystery that continues to intrigue scientists. Though we may never know the full story of Gigantopithecus's life and demise, the discovery of its fossils provides a fascinating glimpse into the distant past, offering valuable insights into the evolution of primates and the delicate balance of ecosystems. Understanding the history of Gigantopithecus helps us appreciate the complexities of species survival and the importance of preserving biodiversity in our world today. Gigantopithecus likely ate bamboo, which leads me to believe that Bigfoot may have a similar dietary pattern. You want to know what other animals eat bamboo? Bamboo is one of the fastest-growing plants in the world and plays a crucial role in many ecosystems, particularly in tropical and subtropical regions of Asia, Africa, and the Americas. While bamboo is typically associated with pandas, it serves as a primary or supplementary food source for a variety of herbivorous animals, ranging from mammals to insects. The ecological role of bamboo-eating animals, and the importance of bamboo in sustaining diverse ecosystems. What is bamboo? Before diving into the herbivores that rely on bamboo, it is important to understand the nature of this plant. Bamboo consists of over 1,400 species spread across different climates and ecosystems. The plant is characterized by its woody stems, known as culms, and can grow in both tropical and temperate environments. Some species of bamboo can grow as fast as 35 inches per day under optimal conditions, making it a highly renewable resource. Bamboo is remarkably resilient and capable of growing in various soil types and altitudes. It forms dense forests that provide shelter and food for a multitude of organisms. The plant is rich in cellulose, which makes it difficult to digest for many animals. However, certain herbivores have developed unique adaptations to overcome these challenges, allowing them to consume bamboo and extract the necessary nutrients. Bamboo-eating herbivores range from large mammals like pandas and gorillas to smaller animals such as bamboo rats and insects. Each species has evolved specific anatomical, physiological, and behavioral adaptations that enable them to exploit this abundant yet tough resource. The most famous bamboo-eating animal is undoubtedly the giant panda. Native to the mountainous regions of China, pandas rely almost entirely on bamboo as their primary food source, consuming up to 99% of their diet in the form of bamboo leaves, stems, and shoots. Adaptations for bamboo consumption. Teeth and jaws. Pandas have strong jaws and broad molars that help them crush and grind bamboo. Their teeth are specially designed to chew through the tough, fibrous stalks of bamboo, allowing them to break down the plant material and extract the nutrients. Digestive system. Despite their herbivorous diet, pandas still retain a carnivorous digestive system. Their stomach and intestines are not as specialized as those of other herbivores, such as ruminants. which means they cannot fully digest cellulose. To compensate for this, pandas consume large amounts of bamboo, eating up to 26 to 84 pounds per day, to meet their energy needs. Despite their reliance on bamboo, pandas are relatively inefficient at extracting energy from their food. They must spend up to 14 hours a day foraging and eating to meet their energy requirements. The limited nutritional value of bamboo, combined with the panda's low metabolic rate, forces these animals to lead a sedentary lifestyle to conserve energy. Another bamboo specialist is the red panda, a small raccoon-like mammal that inhabits the forests of the Himalayas in southwestern China. Although not closely related to the giant panda, the red panda shares similar dietary preferences, relying on bamboo for the bulk of its diet. Like the giant panda, red pandas have evolved adaptations to cope with their bamboo-centric diet. In the dense forests of the Virunga Mountains and Bwindi Impenetrable Forest, mountain gorillas occasionally include bamboo in their diet, particularly during the wet season when bamboo shoots are more abundant and tender. While bamboo does not make up the entirety of their diet, it is a crucial food source for mountain gorillas during specific times of the year. While bamboo provides an important source of food for mountain gorillas, it is not their primary food source. They also eat a wide variety of leaves, fruits, bark, and stems, which allows them to maintain a more balanced diet. Bamboo lemurs are small primates native to Madagascar, and they are named for their unique diet, which consists primarily of bamboo. There are several species of bamboo lemurs, each with slightly different dietary habits, but all have evolved to specialize in bamboo consumption. Bamboo lemurs have sharp, chisel-like teeth that allow them to chew through the tough bamboo stalks. They are highly selective in their feeding behavior, often choosing the most tender parts of the bamboo plant to maximize nutrient intake while minimizing the ingestion of toxic compounds. The ability to consume bamboo that other herbivores avoid has allowed bamboo lemurs to exploit a unique ecological niche in Madagascar's forests, reducing competition for food. Bamboo rats are burrowing rodents found in Southeast Asia, known for their preference for bamboo roots and shoots. While not as well known as other bamboo eaters, bamboo rats play an important role in the bamboo forests of their native habitats. Bamboo rats have strong chisel-like incisors that allow them to gnaw through bamboo roots and stems. Their underground burrowing habits give them access to the root systems of bamboo plants, which they consume as a significant part of their diet. Bamboo rats use their powerful front teeth and claws to dig extensive burrow systems in the soil beneath bamboo forests. These burrows provide them with protection from predators and allow them to access the roots and underground shoots of bamboo plants, which other herbivores may not be able to reach. Bamboo rats are important ecosystem engineers, as their burrowing activity helps to aerate the soil and promote the growth of bamboo and other plants. Bamboo also serves as a food source for a variety of insects, many of which have evolved to specialize in consuming different parts of the bamboo plant. For example, bamboo borers are beetles that lay their eggs inside bamboo stalks, and their larvae feed on the plant tissue as they grow. Other insects, such as bamboo weevils, feed on the leaves and stems. Insects play a critical role in the bamboo ecosystem, as they help to break down dead plant material and contribute to nutrient cycling. Additionally, many bamboo-eating insects serve as a food source for larger animals, creating complex food webs in bamboo forests. Ecological importance of bamboo-eating herbivores. The herbivores that consume bamboo play vital roles in maintaining the health and balance of bamboo ecosystems. By foraging on bamboo, these animals help regulate the growth and spread of bamboo plants, preventing any one species from dominating the landscape. This allows for greater plant diversity, which supports a wider range of animal species. Bamboo-eating herbivores also contribute to seed dispersal, as some animals, like the red panda, consume bamboo seeds and excrete them in new locations, promoting the regeneration of bamboo forests. In some regions, bamboo-eating animals are considered keystone species, meaning their presence is essential for the overall stability and diversity of the ecosystem. For example, the giant panda's role in bamboo forest ecosystems is critical to the health of these environments, as its foraging behavior helps to prevent the overgrowth of bamboo and supports other plant species. Conclusion: bamboo, despite its tough, fibrous nature, supports a wide array of herbivores that have evolved remarkable adaptations to overcome the challenges of consuming this plant. From the iconic giant panda to the smaller and lesser-known bamboo lemur, each species has developed unique strategies to extract nutrients from bamboo and thrive in their respective habitats. These herbivores play crucial roles in their ecosystems, contributing to the maintenance of biodiversity and the health of bamboo forests. Understanding the relationships between bamboo and the animals that rely on it is essential for conserving these complex ecosystems and ensuring the survival of the species that depend on them. And now, more information about Bigfoot itself. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is one of the most enduring and intriguing legends in North American folklore. Described as a large, bipedal, ape-like creature, Bigfoot has been the subject of thousands of alleged sightings, photos, videos, and footprint discoveries over the past century. These reports, however, are mired in controversy, with skeptics dismissing them as hoaxes or misidentifications, while believers argue that Bigfoot could represent an undiscovered species. Possible explanations for the sightings and the cultural impact of Bigfoot on modern society. Bigfoot sightings are not a modern phenomenon. Indigenous cultures in North America have long told stories of large, mysterious creatures that resemble Bigfoot. For instance, the term Sasquatch comes from the Halkomelem language spoken by indigenous peoples in the Pacific Northwest, who have legends of a giant, hairy creature that roams the forests. Similarly, other Native American tribes have their own versions of the creature, which they describe as a protector of the wilderness or a spiritual being. The modern legend of Bigfoot began to take shape in the 19th and early 20th centuries when reports of strange, large footprints in remote wilderness areas started to surface. In 1958, the legend gained significant national attention when a construction worker named Jerry Crew discovered enormous footprints near Bluff Creek in Northern California. The press dubbed the creature responsible for the prints Bigfoot, and the name stuck. Although later investigations revealed that some of the prints were likely fabricated as part of a hoax, the Bluff Creek incident ignited widespread public interest in Bigfoot and helped establish the creature as a prominent figure in American folklore. Since then, thousands of alleged sightings of Bigfoot have been reported across North America, particularly in the Pacific Northwest, but also in regions as far away as the Appalachian Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and parts of Canada. Witnesses typically describe Bigfoot as a large, hairy creature, standing between 7 to 10 feet tall, with dark brown or black fur, a human-like face, and a strong, musky odor. The creature is usually reported to move swiftly and silently, disappearing into the forest or mountainous terrain after being spotted. The evidence for Bigfoot largely consists of eyewitness reports, footprint discoveries, and occasional videos or photographs. Eyewitness accounts form the bulk of Bigfoot evidence, with reports coming from hunters, hikers, campers, and even law enforcement officials. Witnesses often describe similar features, such as the creature's height, its ape-like appearance, and the large size of its footprints. Despite the consistency of these descriptions, skeptics argue that eyewitness accounts are unreliable. Human memory can be faulty, and in some cases, people may have been mistaken about what they saw, confusing a bear, for instance, with a Bigfoot-like figure. Nevertheless, believers point out that the sheer number of sightings, often in remote and sparsely populated areas, suggests that Bigfoot might be more than just a product of imagination or misidentification. In particular, some sightings are made by people who are familiar with the wilderness, such as park rangers and hunters, lending credibility to their observations. Footprints attributed to Bigfoot are another common piece of evidence. These tracks are typically much larger than human footprints, often measuring 15 to 24 inches in length. Some prints even show distinct details, such as toes or ridges, that would be difficult to fake convincingly. However, footprint evidence is problematic. Many footprint hoaxes have been uncovered over the years, with individuals using wooden cutouts or other tools to create fake tracks. Additionally, some prints that were initially attributed to Bigfoot have later been explained as belonging to bears or other large animals, or even deformed human footprints. Despite this, some prints, such as those found by famous Bigfoot researcher Dr. Grover Krantz, have been studied in detail, and their authenticity continues to be debated. The mystery of Bigfoot has led to various theories, ranging from scientific to speculative, in an attempt to explain the numerous sightings. Some of the most common explanations include: one of the most popular theories among believers is that Bigfoot represents an undiscovered species of primate or hominin. Proponents of this theory suggest that Bigfoot could be a surviving relic of an ancient species like Gigantopithecus, an extinct giant ape that lived in Asia millions of years ago. They argue that remote, dense forests, particularly in the Pacific Northwest, could provide enough cover for such a species to remain hidden from modern science. Another plausible explanation is that many Bigfoot sightings are the result of misidentifications. Large animals such as bears, particularly when standing on their hind legs, can resemble the descriptions of Bigfoot given by witnesses. In some cases, people may misinterpret common sounds and movements in the wilderness as evidence of Bigfoot due to psychological factors like confirmation bias, where they see what they expect or hope to see. This theory is supported by the fact that many alleged sightings occur in dimly lit environments, such as at dusk or in dense forests, where visibility is poor, and the likelihood of misidentifying an animal is high. Hoaxes have been a significant factor in perpetuating the Bigfoot phenomenon. Over the years, many individuals have admitted to faking Bigfoot sightings, footprints, and photographs. Some hoaxes were carried out for personal gain, such as selling fake evidence to the media or gaining publicity. For example, a man named Ray Wallace was revealed to have faked the famous 1958 Bigfoot tracks at Bluff Creek using wooden feet. These hoaxes have contributed to widespread skepticism surrounding Bigfoot sightings and evidence. Some researchers suggest that the Bigfoot phenomenon is driven by psychological and cultural factors. Stories of large, mysterious creatures are common in many cultures, and the idea of an elusive ape-like creature resonates with the human fascination for the unknown. The phenomenon of mass sightings, where multiple people claim to see something unusual after hearing stories about it, is well documented. This psychological effect may explain why Bigfoot sightings are concentrated in certain regions and times, correlating with media attention and local legends. The creature has become a significant part of American popular culture. Bigfoot has appeared in countless movies, television shows, books, and even advertisements. The creature is a symbol of the mysterious and unexplored aspects of nature, representing the idea that there are still unknown beings in the world waiting to be discovered. Tourism related to Bigfoot has also flourished, with towns like Willow Creek in California and Skamania County in Washington embracing the legend. These areas attract tourists eager to learn more about Bigfoot, and local businesses capitalize on the creature's fame by offering guided tours, selling memorabilia, and hosting festivals dedicated to Sasquatch. Bigfoot has even influenced scientific research, with cryptozoologists, researchers who study unknown or mythical animals, dedicating their careers to investigating sightings and gathering evidence. While mainstream scientists generally dismiss the existence of Bigfoot, the phenomenon has sparked conversations about the nature of belief, the limits of scientific exploration, and the enduring allure of the unexplained. Bigfoot remains one of the most captivating legends in American folklore, with thousands of sightings reported across the continent over the past century. Bigfoot continues to capture the imagination of believers and skeptics alike. The legend of Bigfoot raises important questions about the reliability of eyewitness testimony, the possibility of undiscovered species, and the role of culture and psychology in shaping our perceptions of the natural world. Whether or not Bigfoot is ever found, the creature will likely remain a symbol of humanity's fascination with the unknown and our desire to explore the mysteries of the wild, untamed wilderness. Have you ever wondered where the name Sasquatch came from? Let's find out. The origin of the name Sasquatch, a cultural and linguistic exploration. The name Sasquatch has become synonymous with the mysterious, ape-like creature that is often reported to roam the dense forests and mountainous regions of North America. While modern popular culture frequently uses the term interchangeably with Bigfoot, the name Sasquatch has a deeper origin rooted in indigenous folklore and linguistic history. Tracing its origins from Native American traditions to its entry into mainstream usage, and examining how this name has shaped the identity of the elusive creature. Indigenous legends and the origins of Sasquatch. The concept of large, mysterious beings resembling Sasquatch has existed in the oral traditions of many Native American and First Nations peoples for centuries. Long before the creature was named Sasquatch or Bigfoot, it existed in the folklore of various tribes throughout the Pacific Northwest, where it was typically depicted as a protector of the wilderness, a supernatural being, or a symbol of the natural world's untamed power. The name Sasquatch is derived from the Halkomelem language, spoken by the Coast Salish peoples, a group of indigenous tribes from British Columbia, Canada, and northern Washington state. The Halkomelem word Saskats, sometimes written as Saskats, is often translated as wild man or hairy man. In traditional Coast Salish culture, the Sasquatch was believed to be a large humanoid creature that lived in the forests and mountains, avoiding human contact. It was often described as a figure with both physical and spiritual significance, acting as a guardian of the wilderness and a symbol of the balance between humans and nature. Many Coast Salish stories depict the Sasquatch as a reclusive yet powerful being that possessed great strength and intelligence. These stories emphasize the creature's connection to the natural world and its ability to move between the physical and spiritual realms. The Sasquatch, in this context, was more than just a creature. It was a reminder of the importance of respecting nature and understanding the boundaries between humans and the wild. The figure of the Sasquatch was not unique to the Coast Salish people. Numerous indigenous groups across North America have their own versions of a similar creature. For example, the Nlaka'pamux, people of British Columbia, have legends of a creature called Stiaha, which shares many characteristics with Sasquatch, including its large size, hair-covered body, and elusive nature. Similarly, the Iroquois people of the northeastern United States and Canada tell stories of a creature called the Stone Giant, which bears a striking resemblance to modern descriptions of Bigfoot. These shared myths across different tribes suggest that the idea of a large humanoid figure inhabiting the wilderness has deep roots in indigenous cultural and spiritual traditions. The introduction of the name Sasquatch to mainstream culture. The name Sasquatch entered mainstream usage in the early 20th century, largely due to the efforts of Canadian schoolteacher and writer J.W. Burns. In the 1920s, Burns worked as a teacher at the Chehalis Indian Reserve, located in British Columbia's Fraser Valley. While living and working among the Chehalis people, Burns became fascinated by the local legends of a large, hairy, man-like creature that lived in the forests surrounding the reserve. The Chehalis referred to the creature as Saskats, a word from their native Halkomelem language. Burns collected stories from the Chehalis people about their encounters with the creature, and he began writing about these stories in articles for newspapers and magazines. In 1929, Burns published an article in a Vancouver newspaper titled Introducing BC's Hairy Giants, in which he first used the term Sasquatch as an anglicized version of Saskats. Burns's articles were among the earliest accounts of Sasquatch to reach a wide audience outside indigenous communities, and they helped popularize the creature's legend in Canadian and American culture. While Burns respected the Chehalis people and their stories, he also viewed Sasquatch through the lens of Western scientific curiosity, often portraying the creature as a potentially undiscovered species of hominid. This framing helped to spark public interest in Sasquatch as a subject of cryptozoology, a field of study that focuses on creatures whose existence is not yet scientifically proven. Burns's work bridged the gap between indigenous oral traditions and Western science, contributing to the modern image of Sasquatch as both a cultural symbol and a subject of scientific inquiry. Although the name Sasquatch became relatively well known in British Columbia and Washington State, it was the term Bigfoot that would ultimately come to dominate public discourse about the creature. The name Bigfoot was popularized in 1958 following an incident in Northern California involving the discovery of large footprints near Bluff Creek. A construction worker named Jerry Crew found massive footprints in the mud, each measuring over 16 inches long. Crew's discovery was reported in newspapers across the United States, and the media quickly dubbed the creature responsible for the track's Bigfoot. The Bluff Creek incident, which was later revealed to involve some hoaxed elements, helped catapult the Bigfoot phenomenon into the national spotlight. Hello? Hey, Jerry. Seriously? Okay, I'm heading to the last area where it was spotted. Sasquatch hair. I think we might be onto something.